Hello and welcome to day 5 of the Bridge course, class 9 to 10th, where we are going through all what we have learned in mathematics and science in class 9th, so that when you go to 10th standard, all this information will be useful and you would definitely need to know all of this when you go before the public examination. On the left side, I have given a list of items and you should be aware of all these terms. And what I'm going to do is that just in case um, we read a lot of things, we study a lot of things. I just want to refresh your memory with these items. So let us get started. So I have 3 circles down here, which I will use for going through the terms. First of all, diameter. Diameter, I believe we all know. So it is the line joining two points on a circumference of the circle, and the line diameter, the line passes through the center of the circle. If you draw a line from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference of the circle, that line is called the radius. And by the way, radius is half the diameter. Okay, next, secant. If you draw a line that cuts across the circle and meets the circle at 2 points and extends on both sides, that line is called a secant. And similarly, you have a chord that we have drawn in the bottom. This is a chord. A chord is a point that a chord is a line that joins 2 points on the circumference of the circle. So this is a chord, and this is what is called as a segment. A segment is the area of the circle that is separated from the main circle by the chord. Okay. So now, what is an arc? An arc is basically a part of the circumference of the circle that is cut away by 2 points. So this is called the minor arc, and this is called the major arc. This is the center of the circle, obviously. And similarly, if you go to the third diagram, this is basically a circle, and there are 2 points in the circle. We have joined them, and this is a chord. And on both sides of the chord, we have 2 segments. This is called the minor segment, and this area is called the major segment. Okay, I hope this is clear. If you want, please replay the last couple of minutes. But these are terms that you should be aware of when you go into the next grade. Okay, so now that we have gone through some key items or key terms of a circle, there are a number of theorems that we have studied in the 9th standard. And what we are going to do is we are going to go through those theorems one by one because you would definitely need them. Okay, let us take the first theorem. What does the first theorem say? I'm going to read this. Chords of the same length form equal angles at the center. So let us say I have a chord AB and I have a chord CD, and I have drawn it in such a way that AB equals CD. So if AB equals to CD, what that means is the angle that is formed by the chord CD and the angle that is formed by the chord AB in the center are the same. So angle X equals angle Y. So the converse is also true. What is meant by the converse? Converse is basically other way around. So if X is equal to Y, if the angle X is equal to Y, what that means is chord CD equals chord AB. So this is a theorem number 1. Chords of the same length form equal angles. Let us go to theorem number 2. A perpendicular drawn from the center of a circle divides a chord into 2 equal parts. So this is a chord, this is the center of the circle, and this is a line that is drawn from the center of the circle, and it is a perpendicular line, which is perpendicular to the chord. So if it is perpendicular, what it means is AC equals AB. This this line separates the chords into 2 equal parts. Similarly, if you have a chord and C is the midpoint of AB, and if you draw a line from C to O, that means that this angle is 90 degrees. This is the converse of the theorem. Theorem number 2. Okay, let us go to the next theorem. I know this is a lot of theorems, but you have to, unfortunately or fortunately, you have to know all these theorems before you go to the 10th standard. Okay, let me read the next one. The angle found at the center by an arc is twice as large as the angle formed by the same arc at any other point on the rest of the circle. This is a long sentence, so I'm going to make it easy for you. You have an arc AB. An arc is what? An arc is part of the perimeter of a circle. And if this arc forms an angle at the center, this angle, and this arc forms an angle at any other point of the circle, then this angle will be twice this angle. That is what this theorem says. So you take this arc, it forms an angle here, it forms an angle here at another point. According to this theorem, this angle will be equal to twice of this angle. All right? Okay. I know this is a lot of theorems, so I'm trying to go slowly, but this is a refresher course, so it cannot be a long video. And please feel free to replay some of the parts of this video. Okay, the next theorem, you have, so you have a quadrilateral here. A quadrilateral is basically a four-sided polygon. It does not have to have equal sides. The quadrilateral is circumscribed on a circle. What does circumscribe mean? The quadrilateral is drawn in such a way that all its corners are sitting on a circle or sitting on the circumference of a circle. So if you have a quadrilateral like that, the sum of the pairs of angles in a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degrees. So this angle plus this angle, B plus D equals 180 degrees, and A plus C equals 180 degrees. So if you have a cyclic quadrilateral, which means all four corners of the quadrilateral are lying on a circle, then the opposite angles, if you add them, you get 180 degrees. Okay, now we have come to the last theorem. I know it is a lot of information, but this is the last, so bear with me. I will read this theorem. Angles in the same segment are equal. What does that mean? You have I haven't drawn it, but let us say you have a chord here. This part is called the major segment, and this part is called the minor segment. And if I draw a line from A to another point on the circle, it forms an angle here. Similarly, if I draw a couple of lines to this point in the circle, it forms an angle there. From the same 2 points, if you draw lines to different points, and what that means, the angles formed in those 2 points are equal. Angle P is equal to angle Q if those angles are formed by lines that are drawn from the same 2 points AB. So angles in the same segment are equal. So this is one segment and this is one segment. Similarly, if you draw a line here, this angle will also be equal to this angle, which will be equal to this angle. And that is what this theorem means. Okay, so we have come back to the main page. We have completed all the theorems that we wanted to talk about today as part of this video. I know that is a lot of theorems, but these are very important theorems, and I would like you to go through this video if required and remember them. And when you go to the 10th standard, this will come in very important, very handy. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I will meet you in the next video, which is day 6 of this bridge course.